Ellen DeGeneres is a what? What?
For years, the narrative surrounding Ellen DeGeneres was one of safety. She was the queen of daytime television, a beacon of laughter, giveaways, and the be kind philosophy that built her media empire. But as the walls close in on the elite circles of Hollywood, a different picture is emerging. A picture where the laughter on screen masked an unsettling access to power, secrecy, and the darker corners of the industry.
What was it like meeting Ellen, and is she a good person?
Let's just all go back to 2017, where I was the first person to call Ellen out before anyone else
You called
did.
her out?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I called her out. I was like, Ellen's not that nice.
This was after you went on the show?
After I went on the show, and the world blew up about it and was like so mad at me about it. And then someone else said it, and then it was like, oh my God, Ellen's not nice. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Why do you say she's not nice?
I can't explain it. It was just really weird. I ran into her like backstage. It was like an awkward thing, and like the producers were really scared. I was like, what's going on? They were like, that was not supposed to happen. We're gonna get in trouble. It was like so weird.
Recently, Dave Chappelle has stepped into the conversation, not with headline-driven accusations, but with cold, hard analysis of behavioral patterns, resurfaced clips, and a timeline that suggests Ellen DeGeneres was far more than a casual observer in the orbit of Sean Diddy Combs. If the connections Chappelle is allegedly drawing are accurate, this isn't just about the cancellation of a talk show host, it's about potential criminal culpability. Now, for years, the public has been whispering about the secret Hollywood parties and the elite circles that operate outside the view of the public eye. With Diddy's arrest and the subsequent federal raids, the spotlight is no longer just on the bad boy mogul. It is stretching wider, catching those who shared proximity to his private environments. Dave Chappelle, rather than focusing on court proceedings, has been pointing toward repeated access. And in his crosshairs, one name keeps coming into focus: Ellen DeGeneres. When you start reviewing the history, the dynamic between Ellen and Diddy was not one of distant mutual respect. It was one of consistent public interaction. We've all seen the red carpet laughs, but Chappelle points to the subtleties, the invitations to private parties, the hushed conversations about arrival times, and the acknowledgement of after parties that carry on behind closed hotel doors.
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that?
When you place that next to what we now know about Diddy's private environments, controlled spaces, invite-only rooms, and hidden cameras capturing unspeakable acts, the question changes. It is no longer just who was Diddy around, it is who else had access to those same spaces. To understand the gravity of Ellen's alleged involvement, we have to look at the earliest pattern Chappelle has illuminated. One of the most tragic connecting threads is that of Aaron Carter. Aaron was a child star who entered the industry full of dreams but left carrying trauma that no young person should ever have to hold. Footage resurrected by Chappelle highlights a system where young talents like Aaron were pulled into elite circles under the promise of opportunities and mentorship. Instead of guidance, they found environments where boundaries disappeared. If you examine the trajectory of Aaron Carter's life, the damage is undeniable. He went from a platinum-selling teenager to a man who spent his final years begging for help, claiming that if anything happened to him, it would not be random.
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old.
Aaron spoke of needing money for security. He talked about people from Sony Records, a label which was at the time allegedly owned by Diddy, were after him, trying to silence him.
Aaron Carter begged for help in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, if anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not suicidal. And no one said anything.
Silence breaker for my brother, who is a racist, and they're after my life. My whole family is after my life, and they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. They owe me money, and they're trying to off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang myself.
While the official ruling on his demise in 2022 was an accidental drowning, behind the scenes, Dave Chappelle suggests that the timeline of Aaron's life, the access he had to these predatory environments, and his vocal fear before his demise was not a coincidence. It was a pattern of silencing commonly found in Hollywood. This same chain happened with Ellen's ex-girlfriend Anne Heche and her producer Stephen Twitch, two people whose sources claim wanted to expose Ellen.
We're getting a look at disturbing, never-before-seen photos of the bathroom where singer Aaron Carter was found dead last year. Carter's mother, Jane Schneck, posted the photos to her personal Facebook page on Wednesday, writing, quote, "Still trying to get a real investigation for the death of my son, Aaron Carter."
Actress Anne Heche remains in a coma after that fiery car crash. Her condition is far worse than originally believed.
Oh my gosh.
According to her spokesperson, she's in critical condition and on a ventilator.
On Wednesday, news broke that Stephen Twitch boss died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And now, ET has learned that the former Ellen Show DJ left a note behind indicating that he couldn't go on.
Appearing in this same narrative is Justin Bieber. Footage has long circulated of a young Bieber spending 48 hours with Diddy, a video where Diddy jokes about having custody of the then teenage superstar and promises they are going to go full crazy. It was content played off as a joke at the time, but in the wake of the Diddy lawsuits, that video has taken on a sinister tone. And sitting in the middle of this dynamic, yet again, is Ellen.
And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
He's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives.
In fact, we have seen Ellen interact with Bieber, often in ways that showcased an uncomfortable fixation. She projected an image of the cougar ant, but when you reframe those interactions through the lens of the Diddy allegations, the jokes about inviting Bieber over to her house, the gifts, the comments about his age, it all begins to look like the normalization of grooming behavior. Ellen wasn't just a bystander to the culture that exploited Bieber. She was actively participating in the public flirtation with a minor, operating under the shield of comedy.
When I have a job, then what happens is that they have to kiss me sometimes. We've discussed this many times. Right. But when I don't have a job, nobody, did you see? No! Oh my God, no!
Chappelle didn't stop at the younger talents. He has started drawing lines to established power players like Will Smith. Will and Diddy moved within the same social lanes for years. Vacations, exclusive events, and industry parties where the vibe stayed strictly private.
I've been in trouble in my day. Well, I've been in a lot of trouble in my day, but man, let me tell you something. This guy Puffy, buddy, this guy is in an enormous amount of trouble. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. They've got this guy in a RICO case by himself.
Sources like Jaguar Wright have continuously alleged that Will Smith was present for the corruption of young artists like Bryshare Gray, with witnesses like Justin Bieber and Jaden Smith reportedly in the room. Ellen fits right into this mix because her repeated proximity to Diddy placed her in these overlapping spaces. She wasn't on the outside looking in. She had the kind of access that suggested she knew the rules of the room. And as we have seen in this case, silence is often bought and trauma is often hidden until it becomes physical.
They're trying to sell him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
This is where the health consequences come into play. Allie Carter, a survivor who spoke out about being a party favor at Diddy's events, described the long-term physical toll of these environments. She hinted at contracting diseases within these circles, a claim bolstered by Jaguar Wright's allegations that Diddy had been battling certain health conditions for years while continuing to host these unprotected freak-offs. It paints a picture of reckless endangerment where the powerful walked away unscathed while the vulnerable paid the price.
I was at a Diddy party. I was one of the party favors.
But I told you, nobody tells on Diddy. Maria Z, I did that interview in 2021, 7 months ago. We made sure, I already knew, that Diddy and Oprah is about to get arrested. I already knew that 7-8 months ago.
Ellen's connection here comes through the shared circles, decades of attending the same private controlled environments. If the rumors of freak-off tapes being in the possession of the FBI are true, and if certain names are on those tapes, the consequences are not just reputational, they are legal. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, the alleged tapes. According to sources close to the investigation and whispered in comedy circles, there is a fear that a specific tape, one involving Ellen DeGeneres, might see the light of day. If Dave Chappelle is teasing this on stage, it suggests he has seen something or heard from someone who has. The daytime television persona, the be kind mantra, the friendly dancing. What if it was all a cover for a person who helped facilitate or at the very least overlooked some of the most heinous acts in recent Hollywood history? The online community has been going loud about all of this, and now it's forcing us to ask a difficult question. How many young individuals got pulled into these worlds, thinking it was their shot at success, only to leave changed forever? And if these tapes surface, will Ellen DeGeneres face the music, or will she simply just disappear into the annals of disgraced celebrities? The story is far from over, but one thing is certain. The mask of comedy is starting to slip, revealing something much darker underneath. Right now, we want to know what your thoughts are about this. So be sure to leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button too, and watch this next one cause things get even more interesting.